This incubator is made with scraps that I had laying around as a prototype before I build a permanent one, so I can get the layout of where I want all the wiring and all that for the future one. In theory, it should work because you just need a box, heat source, and humidity, and this has all of that, so we'll see what happens. I did make an auto turner in this one just to see how it all worked, and I can go over that in a future video if people want. I'm using these foam bits for spacers behind the fan to give it air circulation. This next clip is me showing you how I wire it. If you're not comfortable with wiring stuff, hire an electrician or just buy an incubator. It's the Inkbird STC 3028. It's got temperature and humidity on it, but right now I'm only hooking up the temperature. Here's the diagram. Ports in the back. You're gonna need an electric cord. The skinny side is the positive. The other one's the neutral, so just follow the cord down now. And usually it is the ones that have writing is the positive on lamp cords and whatnot. attach an electric cord, take the positive and put it in slot 1. Negative in slot 2. So on this, the 8 and 9 control the temperature, so that's all we're going to be using now. But if you don't want to use a second electric cord, you could do a jumper from 1 into number 8, and this is like making a light switch turn on. So when it turns on, the light's on. When it turns off, it's off. This is the easiest way to explain it. You splice the so for this, you take and you splice the positive, and you put each side of the splice into one side of the switch. Pull on these just to make sure they're in there nice and secure. And you take your positive to your positive. You can solder this or use wire nuts or connection ports, whatever you want. Pull on each one of these, make sure it's in there secure. And then do the same with your neutral. And pull on it, make sure they're all in there secure. temperature sensor, humidifier sensor, just plugs in. Just drop it down there for now. Okay, so press and hold this one. $37 is what you want. Press and hold the 2. $37.5, so 37.5 is the highest, 37 is the lowest, and it's Celsius. It's supposed to be more accurate, they say, and that's all this model comes with. There's a other model that doesn't have a humidifier, STC 1000 I think it is, and it just says temperature, but they were the same price, so I just went ahead and got this one. So basically what it is when the temperature gets 37.5, this switch will shut off, like open. And then when it reaches 37, it'll turn back on. So I got a heat gun. I'll show you guys how that works. Shouldn't take too long. When it reaches 37, the lights will turn back on for the heat. Now I'm just using regular bulbs in here so you guys can see it turn on and off. The bulbs I'm using are reptile heater. And then when it heats back up, it'll turn off. Keep cycling through. Okay, here we're candling eggs to see if there's anything cracked or just odd that we don't want to have in the incubator. This one here actually has a crack in it that I couldn't see, and obviously we're not going to hatch this one. And there's another one coming up that has like a weird shell. This one right here has like a little wrinkle in it, so we didn't put that in the incubator either. We didn't go off shape or anything. Whatever we had, we threw in the incubator. So there's some that I'm sure are going to end up being roosters, and we ended up with a total of 28 going in the incubator for this go around. We'll have to see what happens. Alright, let's add our eggs. The end slot is a little bit wider than all the others. It's just how the tray ended up being where it fit, and I left the eggs just to see if it would affect the turning, and it seems to be okay. But we'll see in the end. I triggered the egg turner twice just to show that it goes all the way one way and stops, and then an hour later it will go all the way the other way and stop. Now we wait. Subscribe, like, comment for updates.